Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, together with the Presidential Communications Office.
We bring you the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news coverage from the People's Television, IBC, Philippine News Agency, Philippine Information Agency, and Presidential Broadcast Service. I'm Princess Abiba Saripauda.
And I'm Joe Fernandez. We are from Radyo Pilipinas. Welcome to
Balitang Pambansa.
Tonight's headlines. The Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas senatorial bets wooed voters in Cavite. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. leads the holding of the Trabaho at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan sa Bagong Pilipinas activity in Cavite. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. inspects the subsection 3 of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway. An International Criminal Court or ICC accredited lawyer agrees that the government followed the right process in serving the warrant against the former president. The administration's senatorial candidates under the Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas coalition took their campaign to another level earlier today, staging a grand rally in Cavite, one of the country's vote-rich provinces. This marks their 10th stop in a nationwide push for the 2025 midterm elections. Rallying support for the coalition slate, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. once again led the event and laid out his take on pressing national issues, including growing concerns over fake news. PTV's Melales Moras has the report.
In front of thousands of residents in Cavite, the province which holds the record for most number of voters in the country, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. personally campaigned for the administration's senatorial bets under the ticket Alianza para sa Bagong Pilipinas. According to the chief executive, their lineup is composed of the most experienced, most responsible, and most patriotic candidates. That's why the Filipino people should vote for them.
Kapag nanalo na itong ating buong ticket, ay napakapalad ko po dahil isang Pangulo ay meron siyang mga kasamahan na kasing galing, kasing husay, kasing sipag, kasing bait at nagmamahal sa taong bayan na kagaya na itong grupong ito. Kaya po ipinagmamalaki po namin.
In a press conference earlier, the admin bets shared their views on vital issues nowadays, like the proliferation of fake news and disinformation online. For House Deputy Majority Leader Erwin Tulfo and former Senate President Tito Soto, having stricter measures and a new law to regulate social media platforms must be enforced.
Anti-fake news law dapat and anti-fake content. Hindi lang fake news, kundi pati fake content.
We have to have a law, otherwise you, me, all of us magiging biktima po ng fake news and fake content. At sang-ayon po ako at dapat isang malala at mabigat na parusa yung mga nagpapakalat, pati mga nagpapakalat ng mga fake news at fake content. Kailangan ho tayo may batas din doon na pati yung nagsishare na yan, sasabit din.
Meanwhile, for Makati City Mayor Abby Binay, there should also be one thing added to this.
It's not just the legislation, but it's also the enforcement. So siguro kailangan natin pagtibayin yung kapulisan on how will they trace these fake content makers.
According to Alianza campaign manager Toby Chanco, in the days to come, they will go to more cities and provinces to share their candidate stands and platforms, which are all for the nation.
Alam naman natin na may 3 years pa si President Bongbong Marcos. No? At katulad na ng ginawa niya dito, pinuntahan niya yung mga proyekto niyang napakahalaga, yung CALAX. No? And alam naman natin, hindi naman dyan nagtatapos yung mga proyekto. So marami pang proyekto in the pipeline. So para matuloy itong mga napakagandang proyekto ito, napakahalaga na supported by yung legislative agenda niya ay masuportahan ng mga kasama nating senator.
From PTV, Melales Moras, Balitang Pambansa.
In line with the administration's broader efforts to promote job creation, social welfare, and public health under the Bagong Pilipinas governance framework, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the Trabaho at Serbisyong Pangkalusugan initiative in Dasmariñas, Cavite, offering nearly 4,000 job opportunities from 41 local and overseas employers. The chief executive underscored its role in reducing the country's unemployment rate and addressing job mismatches. Aside from employment opportunities, the Department of Labor and Employment, or DOLE, distributed financial assistance to 500 beneficiaries under the Tulong Panghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged Displaced Workers, or TUPAD program. Meanwhile, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, or DSWD, extended aid through its assistance to individuals in crisis situation, or AICS program, to each recipient, while the Department of Health provided free medical services, ensuring access to essential health care.
Asahan po ninyo at ang inyong pamahalaan ay lagi pong nandito, lagi pong nag-aalalay po sa inyong lahat, at asahan ninyo, hindi po kami aalis hanggat kayo ay nangangailangan ng tulong galing sa pamahalaan. Nandito po kami lagi. Kaya tawag po namin dyan ay all of government approach. Lahat po ng buong gobyerno ay pinagsasama-sama namin. Dahil kagaya ng aking nasabi, hindi naman po DA lang, agriculture lang, kaya nang ayusin ang problema. Hindi naman po DSWD lang, matatapos na ang pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan. Hindi po kaya ng isang departamento lamang. Kaya ganito po ang aming ginagawa.
Meanwhile, an accredited International Criminal Court, or ICC lawyer has reaffirmed that the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte was carried out in accordance with legal procedures. PTV's Kenneth Paciente has the report.
Even Attorney Joel Butuyan, an International Criminal Court accredited lawyer, confirmed that the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte followed due process. During the Senate hearing yesterday, the lack of a court order from a Philippine court before the former president was arrested was raised. Butuyan explained that a domestic judicial authority has no power to question an arrest warrant issued by an international body such as the ICC. The only thing it can do is to identify the subject of the arrest warrant and ensure that their rights were respected. These rights were said to have been given to the former president.
Binasahan siya ng Miranda rights niya, no? So that's pursuant to our domestic law on arrest. And then meron siyang abogado doon. Hindi lang isa, dalawa. We fully complied with our domestic law dahil nga merong discretion yung Philippine government to directly surrender the suspect to the international court.
Okay, so hindi po kailangan na ng court order, katulad ng sinabi niyo po.
Sa batas ho natin, hindi na kailangan ng court order.
Butuyan also pointed out that the arrest of the former chief executive was not warrantless because the electronic arrest warrant issued by the ICC was valid.
Sa batas mismo natin, hindi kailangang ipakita yung physical warrant of arrest at the time of the arrest, no? For as long as there exists the warrant of arrest, no? Pwede mag-aresto. In fact, pwede na sa atin yung e-warrant na sinasabi dun sa may revision ng ating rules of court, no? Even sa ICC mismo, hindi kailangan ipakita yung physical warrant of arrest dahil pwedeng e-warrant din yan. In fact, yung proceedings ng ICC, even yung kanilang trial lahat, paperless na yan. Talagang talagang e-documents lahat yung ginagawa doon.
Because of this, it does not matter whether the former president received a diffusion notice or a red notice when he was arrested.
So whether it's diffusion or red notice yan, it doesn't matter kasi talagang kung yung red notice, binibigay yan shotgun sa lahat ng mga members ng Interpol. No? Yung diffusion, usually country to country yan. No? Pero regardless of the terminology, coordinating agency lang, organization lang yung Interpol. Ang mahalaga is valid warrant of arrest yung binigay ng Interpol sa atin, no, regardless of how it gave it to us.
But is it still possible for the former president to return to the country?
I don't think makakabalik pa siya. It's either madidismiss yung kaso or magbibigyan siya ng interim release na papupuntahin siya dito, which I think very, very slim.
The palace, however, emphasized that the current administration will ensure justice for the victims of the drug war.
Ngayon po, nakikita po natin kung paano po magtrabaho ang administrasyon. Nagkataon lamang po siguro kaya nagkaroon po ng kaso sa ICC dahil gumagana naman po ang hustisya sa ibang tao. Nagkataon lamang po siguro na yung hustisya na dapat na makamit dahil sa pangyayari sa war on drugs ay hindi nakamit sa panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte.
From PTV Manila, Kenneth Paciente, Balitang Pambansa.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. led the inspection of the ongoing construction of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway or CALEX Governor's Drive Interchange. According to the operator of the said expressway, the interchange is 44% complete and is expected to be operational by the third quarter of 2025. It is also a key infrastructure project aimed at easing congestion and improving connectivity in the region. PTV's Harley Valbuena has the details.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the inspection of Subsection 3 of the Cavite-Laguna Expressway. The Chief Executive did a walkthrough on the Governor's Drive Interchange of CALEX in General Trias City, Cavite, accompanied by Public Works and Highway Secretary Manuel Bonoan, Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon, DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla, Metro Pacific Investments Corporation Chairman Manny V. Pangilinan, and Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation President and CEO Jose Maria Lim. The 8.64-kilometer segment will link Silang Interchange and Governor's Drive Interchange and is expected to be completed in the third quarter of the year. This is a part of the 44.57-kilometer CALEX project with a total of 8 subsections which will link Cavitex in Cavite to the South Luzon Expressway in Biñan, Laguna. CALEX is a public-private partnership project between the government and MPTC and is included in the infrastructure flagship projects of the Marcos administration. Once completed, this will reduce the travel time from Cavitex to SLEX from 2 hours to 35 minutes. This aims to ease the traffic congestion in nearby roads such as Governor's Drive, Aguinaldo Highway, and Santa Rosa Tagaytay Road. Almost 100,000 motorists per day are expected to benefit from it. It is also seen to boost the economy, trade, and tourism in Cavite, Laguna, and other provinces in Calabarzon. From PTV, Hardy Valbuena for Balitang Pambansa.
The government will continue its efforts to bring former Representative Arnulfo Teves Jr. back to the Philippines after Timor-Leste denied his extradition. Malacanang expressed disappointment, especially for the victims, as their request failed due to legal technicalities. However, the Department of Justice, or DOJ, plans to appeal the decision, and the palace assured that all actions will be taken to ensure justice for the victims.
Meanwhile, the Department of Justice, or DOJ, expressed disappointment over the Timor-Leste court's reversal of its decision to extradite former Congressman Arnulfo Teves Jr. after initially agreeing twice in 2024. The DOJ is seeking clarification on the court's decision and stressed that it will explore all legal options to ensure Teves faces justice for his alleged involvement in the 2023 killings of former Governor Roel Degamo and several others. The Justice Department also called for respect for the Philippines' legal processes and stressed the importance of international cooperation in seeking justice. In other news, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, officially opened the enrollment for internet voting, allowing registered overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, to participate in the upcoming midterm elections. According to the COMELEC Chief George Erwin Garcia, all OFWs who are registered voters must enroll in the designated website to be eligible for online voting. This measure is necessary as some countries will only allow OFWs to vote through internet-based platforms in the upcoming elections. To complete the enrollment process, OFWs are required to provide their email address, mobile number, and a valid government-issued ID such as passport to verify the identity of voters before they are granted access to the online voting system. Meanwhile, overseas voting will officially begin on April 13 and will run until May 12, ensuring that Filipinos abroad have ample time to cast their votes.
Ay kakabsat nga narayat kaslanay pang Panguluan ti Pangulo ti Pilipinas agigip iti taray nga napinta takil tinak panagyaman ti panakikat dagiti nagadunga utang.
Ito ang kantang inialay ng 79 na taong gulang na si Salvador Marugay Sr. para kay Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Isa si Tatay Salvador sa mga personal na inabutan ng Pangulo ng Certificate of Condonation with Release of Mortgage o COCROM sa makasaysayan na pinakaunang pagpapamudmud nito sa mga Agrarian Reform Beneficiary noong July 19, 2024 sa Lingayen, Pangasinan.
Agyam-yaman ako. Iti pangiding tituray ti Pilipinas. Tati utang ko naikat. Inikat niya po Presidente Bongbong Marcos.
Bagong Pilipino at bagong Pilipinas.
Ang mga certificate na ito ay simbolo ng katuparan ng ating pangako na buburahin natin ang pagkakautang ng ating mga agrarian reform beneficiaries dito sa Region 1.
Back on Balitang Pambansa, the Department of Migrant Workers or DMW conducted a job fair featuring thousands of employment opportunities abroad. According to the DMW, 13 accredited recruitment agencies participated in the event, wherein over 4,000 job openings for skilled and professional Filipino workers were offered. This opportunity span across 10 countries, including the United States, Congo, and Hungary, among others. Aside from the job fair, the DMW also organized seminars on anti-illegal recruitment and human trafficking, as well as pre-employment orientations to guide job seekers.
On the other news, Department of Transportation or DOTR Secretary Vince Dizon urged the NLEX management to waive toll fees in areas affected with the traffic due to damage at the Marilao Interchange Bridge, as repairs caused delays of up to an hour and a half. The DOTR chief ordered the repairs to be completed within a week. Although NLEX estimates it will take 2 to 3 weeks. Only Class 1 vehicles are allowed to pass, and a stop-and-go scheme is in place. Meanwhile, the LTFRB called on the Manibela Transport Group to stay open to dialogue after their sudden strike and assured that free rides would be provided if needed.
Meanwhile, the National Tobacco Administration rolls out 9 million pesos aid for over 2,000 typhoon-hit tobacco farmers in northern Luzon. Meanwhile, the Department of Energy or DOE includes water conservation in Earth Day 2025 celebration. These and more in tonight's business wrap by the Philippine News Agency.
Moving to business headlines, the National Tobacco Administration has started distributing 9 million pesos in assistance to over 2,600 tobacco farmers in northern Luzon. This as farmers were affected by the wilting of growing and early transplanted tobacco seedlings due to the onslaught of typhoons Christine, Leon, Marce, and Ophel last year, as well as heavy rains in January 2025. The amount includes 5 million pesos for the procurement of biostimulants and about 4 million pesos as cash aid for tobacco farmers. According to NTA Deputy Administrator for Operations Nestor Casela, tobacco fields in Regions 1, 2, and the Cordillera region were among those that were damaged by inclement weather. Casela says their priority is to ensure the farmers would receive the necessary support to recover and rebuild their tobacco plantations. Meanwhile, the Department of Energy calls on Filipinos to save water on top of conserving energy as the Philippines joins the rest of the world in celebrating Earth Day 2025. This year's Earth Hour is themed Switch Off and Secure Water for All to raise awareness about climate change and environmental issues. Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla says using electricity requires water for cooling processes in thermal power plants and hydropower systems. He says every kilowatt hour saved means conserving water, reducing consumption, and reinforcing the delicate balance of the environment. He also stressed that consistent action by individuals, businesses, and communities can make a significant impact not only in preserving water, but also promoting a more sustainable lifestyle. The public is encouraged to switch off their lights and non-essential appliances on Saturday, March 22 from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m. In other news, the National Capital Region will continue to be the main growth driver of Shakey's Pizza Ventures Incorporated, even as the company aims to expand outside Metro Manila this year. That's a wrap for this week's Business Headlines. Happy weekend, everyone. From the Philippine News Agency, I'm Benj Bondok for Balitang Pambansa.
Thank you so much, Benj. With tuberculosis cases on the rise, the Department of Health, or DOH, in Northern Mindanao is calling on Cagayanons to take an active role in the fight against the disease and urge residents to report individuals showing symptoms and encourage them to seek free treatment at local health centers. Gabriel Andres from the Philippine Information Agency Region 10 has more.
As the number of tuberculosis cases continues to rise in the country, the Department of Health Northern Mindanao calls on Cagayanons to report individuals with TB symptoms and encourage them to seek treatment at local health centers. In 2024 alone, based on records from the Department of Health Region 10, nearly 6,000 were confirmed TB cases in Northern Mindanao, which could still be higher due to unreported or undiagnosed cases.
So kung kamo, namoy kauban sa balay nga gi-TB, make sure nga ang iyang mga kauban sa balay, syempre, naaman mo sa isa ka enclosed space, o TB preventive therapy or para dili pod sila mo develop og TB signs and symptoms. Very important nga kung naatay mga signs and symptoms, naatay gibati, naatay signs and symptoms for TB, modangop ta sa ato ang pinakaduol nga health facility.
Testing and treatment are provided free of charge by the government through local health centers and has a minimum of 6 months and may extend up to 1 year depending on the areas of the body affected by the disease. Guided by the theme Para TB ay prevented, Get Tested, Para Pamilya ay protected, the DOH continues to strengthen its call for community participation in its fight against TB disease. From the Philippine Information Agency Region 10, Gabriel Andres for Balitang Pambansa.
Meanwhile, Zamboanga del Sur is buzzing with economic activity thanks to a flourishing mix of industries like coconut, rubber, and seaweed. At the recent Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas, the Department of Trade and Industry spotlighted the province's growing potential with investments pouring in and entrepreneurial energy at an all-time high. Harvey Bangayan from PIA Zamboanga tells us more.
The Department of Trade and Industry highlighted Zamboanga del Sur's strong economic potential with key industries driving growth and new investments during the recent Kapihan sa Bagong Pilipinas held in Zamboanga City.
Business as usual, maganda sa Zamboanga del Sur because of the active members of the chamber.
DTI Zamboanga del Sur reported that more than 3,000 new business names were registered, signaling strong entrepreneurial activity in the province. According to DTI Provincial Director Marlon Alabata, major industries contributing to this growth include coconut, rubber, and seaweed, with rising demand for coffee and cacao.
That just shows the vibrancy of the environment there in Zamboanga del Sur. Some of the industries that have been contributing big are in coconut, which we contributed 307 million in investments. Rubber, likewise, it's an emerging industry, contributed 141 million.
Looking ahead, the province anticipates significant economic developments in 2025. One of these is an integrated coconut processing plant that will soon rise in San Miguel, which is expected to generate 5,000 jobs and significantly boost the income of coconut farmers in nearby areas. With these developments, the province is poised to solidify its position as a key player in regional trade and industry, bringing more opportunities for businesses and local communities. From the Philippine Information Agency Zamboanga del Sur, Harvey Bangayan for Balitang Pambansa.
From Davao to the world, Ann Chukinhoy Pamintuan has earned international acclaim for her distinctive jewelry, furniture, and public art. Rudolph Ian from PIA Davao Region tells us more.
Ann Chukinhoy Pamintuan is a world-class jewelry and furniture designer from Davao whose designs have gained international acclaim. Among these include the iconic cocoon chair, which won the Good Design Award in Japan. Her furnitures are popular for the whimsical and otherworldly styles. She's also known for her electroplated fashion accessories and public art sculptures. For Pamintuan, she gets her design inspirations from her natural environment in Davao.
We started with jewelry.
The jewelry was it's not the usual metal jewelry, but they all come from my garden. Mga bulaklak, namitas lang ako. And then it went through a process of electroplating.
Pamintuan's cocoon chair opened the doors for them. She was the first Filipino and Asian designer featured in the International Design Yearbook in 2002.
The cocoon chair. This was our first furniture piece, no? And then in the show, it got recognition.
Marami na awards, even in
Maraming
Japan
awards.
and
all over the world. Up to now, kilala siya.
Pamintuan is part of the Movement 8 Design Alliance, a group of the country's top designers. Going back to her Davao roots, she founded the Mindanao Trade Expo to provide a platform for Mindanao artisans to showcase their products. Pamintuan was recently named as a Datu Bagu awardee, Davao City's highest award for exemplary Davaoenos. I'm standing next to Ann Pamintuan's public art sculpture entitled The Flight. From PIA Davao Region, Udot Ian Alama for Balitang Pambansa.
Based on Pagasa's latest weather monitoring, due to shear line, cloudy skies with scattered rains and isolated thunderstorms will fall in Visayas, Albay, Sorsogon, Catanduanes, Masbate, and Dinagat Islands. Northeast monsoon may cause cloudy skies with rains in Cagayan Valley, Apayao, Aurora, Quezon, and the rest of Mimaropa and Bicol region. While partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated light rains will be experienced in Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon. Meanwhile, easterlies will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms to the Davao region, Socsargen, Barm, Zamboanga, Peninsula, and Palawan. While the rest of Mindanao may expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms.
And that wraps it up for a rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Joe Fernandez.
And we officially welcome the last 10 nights of Ramadan and the search for the Laylatul Qadr. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again next week at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From Radyo Pilipinas, I'm Princess Abiba Saripaudak, and this is Balitang Pambansa.